Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. It was all for naught. The Texas Democrats, all their grandstanding, all their fleeing from their duty, all their law breaking, resulted in squat. They accomplished nothing for Texas. It was a self-serving maneuver, and they just went down in defeat. But before we tell you why, please comment, share, join Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, approximately 60 Democrats pulled some massive stunt by just fleeing to Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, hiding from their constituents and from Texas justice. But last night, we saw the world come crashing down among their shoulders because, guess what? The new redistricting map in Texas was passed. After all, it was by a count of 88 to 52 along party lines. And that means the Democrats are in trouble in some of these districts in Texas. And by some accounts, that will mean a pickup of approximately 5 seats for the GOP. And even Jasmine Crockett, to some extent, is in trouble there. She might find herself on the outs, but we're going to have to get a little bit more of a breakdown on this because, Dallas isn't what it used to be. So, if you live in Dallas, be vigilant. You can't take anything for granted. But anyway, this is expected to pass. The Texas Senate is going to take this up possibly by the end of the week, and Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign it. So this is triggering a meltdown among Democrats across the nation, and not just Democrats like Jasmine Crockett in Texas. Gavin Newsom is sticking his nose in all sorts of state business around the country. He seems to want to run every state except his own, which is understandable because California is a complete disaster. But Gavin Newsom is obviously making threats about gerrymandering his state even more. Well, that's almost impossible because even though Republicans make up between 35 to 40% of the vote in California, they only have 20% of representation in the state. So they're already pretty gerrymandered already, and they might be able to, screw Republican voters out of 3 seats, possibly. I don't know how they could do much more than that, but we'll see what happens. But there are blue states around the country that just zero Republican congressmen, despite 30 to 40% of the vote there. So these people are just raging hypocrites. They are the worst. They are not even caring in the least about principle. When you have political adversaries like this, you take your battles where you can, because the Democrats have been doing this to Republican voters for decades. And the GOP, well, there's one thing you could say about them. They have a reputation for being spineless. They don't understand that this is considered to be political warfare to the left. They will censor their opponents. They will gerrymander. They'll change election laws, whether legally or illegally, to benefit themselves. They don't care about election integrity. They don't care about democratic process. They don't care about the rule of law. They don't care about any of these things. They care about power and what power gives them. And you know what that gives them? Well, it gives them, billions and billions of dollars in U.S. aid money, among other things. They just loot taxpayers, and they don't really care about how we feel about it. So they don't really like that Texas is calling their bluff, right? Like this is a game of Texas Hold'em. They just flopped the river, and guess what? Your lid is blown. You're done, and it's time to cash out your chips, Democrats. You had a good run, but as we will get into in another story today, the Democrats, they're in a death spiral. There are a lot of factors that are working against them, and publicity stunts like they pulled in Texas, it's not helping their image. They think that voters want to see them fight. They don't want to see them fight for stupid reasons or for insane causes like protecting violent criminals or protecting open borders or looting taxpayers to spend on Sesame Street and Iraq. This is a reason that their brand is in the toilet, okay? And they did it themselves. So these little battles, it only makes the Democrats look self-serving because We had flood relief legislation on the table in Texas. We had important bills. And for them just to leave the state like this and to break the law when they were going to have to come back, they were going to have to vote sometime. And this was all just like a publicity maneuver just to complain about a red state doing what blue states have done for decades. It's not doing yourself any favor, Democrats. Not that I care because you're a terrible party. But let us know what you think. We appreciate hearing from you. This has been Kyle Becker from Explained America.